Okay, spring-loaded. Apple wasn't lying about that. This thing was packed with so many different things. I'm gonna quickly go over some of these things and give you my hot takes on them and what I will be doing, what I will be buying, and what I will not be buying. If you're interested, stay tuned. Firstly, Apple AirTags. I think we've been waiting for like the Apple AirTags for like so long now. I'm actually really curious to check these out because people are already using tiles and stuff, so I want to see how big of a difference will something like this make. Apple really talked it up with how accurate and how precise it is in helping you find what you need to find. The AirTags also play a sound so you can find them easier. Overall, I think it's a great addition to the whole Find My ecosystem and everything, and I think they all play off of each other. First thing I'm gonna do is gonna attach that to my wife's phone because the amount of times she's made me look for her phone. Honey, I can't find my phone. Really? Again? What do you mean again? Oh, no, I didn't mean, I meant like, I'm gonna go down again. I'm going. So these things look pretty cool. They're customizable. You can put like whatever like designs on them or words on them that you want. And also they come with a whole bunch of different accessories depending on what you want to attach it to, including some Hermes accessories, which I don't even want to imagine how much they're gonna cost. But regardless, these come in at 29 bucks USD and 99 bucks for a 4-pack. But what they didn't mention is how expensive those accessories are. So I think that's where they're gonna make their money because these things just come like, there's no like hole punch or anything like that for you to attach your keys into them. Okay, so I was right. Their AirTags loop, like the thing you need to attach it to like your backpack or your keys or something like that. Yeah, some of them are more expensive than the actual AirTags. Oh my God, you guys do not want to see how much the Hermes luggage straps and back charms are. Holy crap, and that hurts. All right, moving on. Next up, we have the Apple TV 4K. Now, this is just a slight update to the Apple TV 4K. It didn't seem like the actual box or anything has changed much. Just a little bit on the internals with the A12 Bionic chip, allowing you to have HDR in higher frame rates. So if you're watching like sports and stuff like that, and you want to see something in high frame rate with HDR support, then this might be helpful. Two main standouts for me is the brand new remote. Finally, they have a new remote. Thank goodness. It gives me the whole iPod video feel because it has like a scroll ring that you can kind of scroll through. So it's kind of cool. Happy with the new remote. Also, the other thing that I found pretty cool was you can use your iPhone now to calibrate your TV. This is definitely a cool option for people that already have the iPhone and an Apple TV. Next up, we have the Apple M1 Max, and these things are, I mean, I've seen very polarized opinions on them. One side is like, oh my God, that's a really ugly chin and white border and everything like that. This thing is not aesthetic at all. And on the other side, I mean, people are raving about how it looks, the color options, everything you can do. I'm slightly more on the other side because I'm very excited about these new iMacs. I think they've done a phenomenal job. Finally, firstly, they have the M1 chip, which is a game changer. I'm not gonna go into the performance because we already all know what kind of performance we're getting out of the M1 chips. And if you don't, then I've dropped a whole bunch of videos about them. I'll link some of them down below. Next up, the different colors. There's so many different colors. What's your personal favorite color? Let me know in the comment section down below. There's so many cool colors, and I love the fact that they did like the whole, like there's like a white bezel with like the one tone of the color, and then there's a darker tone, a richer tone of the color on the back of the iMac. So it's like a 2 or 3 tone display overall. I dig it. I'm leaning towards a blue color, but it's gonna be a game time decision. Now they've really revamped the iMac to add quality of life to the fact that we're all staying indoors. The camera, they're touting to be the best camera ever on a Mac. I mean, it's not a big claim because I mean, traditionally the Mac cameras have been horrible. It has a whole bunch of smart processing when it takes the video and photo on there, like the highlight details and tone mapping and all of that good stuff. So hopefully it's gonna give you a much better quality image with that 1080p webcam. So that's something that I'm excited for, especially for all those at-home Zoom calls and Skype calls that we have. Next up, they have studio quality microphones. It was only a matter of time. There's been times where I've recorded voiceovers for videos right on my MacBook Pro because of the updated studio quality microphones. They just sound that good. The speakers have also been touted to have increased power, so it's outputting a lot more clearer and higher quality sound, and also it has spatial audio, which is super exciting. The average person can just pick this up and be ready to hit the ground running. They don't need to buy another webcam. They don't need to buy another microphone or anything like that. This is the perfect iMac to gift like my parents. Now in terms of the display, it's actually a 4.5K Retina display, so So I think this is pretty cool. You're getting pretty much close to 5K. Like I have a 5K display behind me, but I use it for the most part in 4K mode. So it's kind of just overkill because 5K was like, you know, it made everything like super tiny and I couldn't like read it half the time. In terms of I/O, it's got a new magnetic power connector at the back, which I'm super excited for. Anything magnetic, like you already know my love for magnets. In terms of ports, it's got 4 USB-C ports. 2 of them are going to be Thunderbolt connectors. So the dongle life is still not dead. We're still gonna need dongles. In terms of peripherals, Apple has also launched a brand new Magic Keyboard, finally with Touch ID. Like I've been waiting for this for so freaking long. So the actual trackpad and the Magic Mouse also come color matched to the actual iMac that you're getting. So that's there as well. So that's kind of cool. What I'm curious about is, do we still charge the Magic Mouse the same way? And get this, guys, the M1 Max starts at $12.99. Like I think this is gonna be the best value for what you're getting with a screen and a computer built in. I think it's a great price. It's the same price as their MacBook Pro. I think this is going to furnish a lot of homes. All right, next up, and the thing that I was the most excited for today is the new iPads. Finally here, iPad Pro is finally touched down. iPad was already like leaps and bounds ahead of any other tablet on the market. But like these changes, literally, like folks, we are getting the M1 chip, like the same chip in the iMac we just talked about, the same chip on the MacBook Pro that I'm using daily driver to edit like 8K footage, 4K footage, and all like literally everything that I throw at it, it's running it fanless. We're getting that same chip on the iPad. So this is a game changer. But what really annoys me is the fact that we still don't have Final Cut Pro. Like if there's an M1 chip on the iPad, why do we not have Final Cut Pro? My personal opinion is we're waiting till WWDC for them to launch it, because WWDC, that's technically where they announce their software and all that stuff. So they're kind of just keeping that separate and they're gonna announce it then. I still have a feeling. I'm still holding out hope. And secondly, to make that dream easier, the iPad Pro now, the USB-C port on it is a Thunderbolt port with USB-C 4 support. So that is super exciting. This changes things, guys. So we can attach like high-speed SSDs to it, and we can now connect it to an external monitor display and have it like, you know, fully blow up the screen. So people are going to be able to use the iPad now as a legitimate a legitimate computer. Next up, we also have 5G on the iPad. I mean, I'm not like super crazy excited about 5G because I usually do not get a data plan on my iPad. And for those of you, pro tip, just use Wi-Fi tethering. Yeah, there's 5G as well for those of you who need it. And also there's some camera improvements. Now, I personally don't take photos on my iPad. However, there are people that do that because they're traveling with their iPad and they want to be able to use their iPad to take photos. It's gonna give you the best photos that you can ever get from an iPad. Now, also the front facing on the iPad, which is an actual application that I'm excited for, is improved. It has an ultra wide sensor now, and it has something called center stage, which basically means that as soon as somebody moves into the camera, it'll kind of widen the view of the camera. Then when it's just one person, it'll kind of narrow in on that person. So it kind of just adjusts the camera's angle, view angle based on how many people are in the frame. So it's kind of smart enough to do something like that. And the last two things I want to mention about the iPad, which I'm kind of excited about, the first one is huge. So the iPad Pro comes out with 2 models usually, right? You have the smaller 11-inch one, and then you have the larger 12.9-inch one. Now, the previous iPad Pros that I've gotten have always been the 12.9-inch models because I just wanted the larger screen in case if I wanted to use it for editing or anything like that. But more and more, I started to like the smaller 11-inch iPad because I started using the iPad Air as well, and you know, it was just a lot more convenient to carry around. But now Apple brought in another big difference between the 11-inch and the 12.9-inch. So the 12.9-inch iPad Pro now has the same tech, like the same screen as the Pro Display XDR. Like I'm talking about like the Pro Display XDR, which is like a $10,000 monitor. You have that same tech on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. That screen is gonna be incredible. And the second thing I'm excited for is, which is kind of silly, this one's silly, it is the Magic Keyboard comes in white now. We've had the same color for like the Magic like Folio keyboard and the Magic Keyboard for a while now. Now the iPads come in at $799 and $1099, which is pretty great for what they can do, how capable they are, and I think I will definitely be picking one up. Next up is Apple Podcasts. I'm actually super excited for this because if you guys don't know, I started a new podcast with some of my friends, Chris Brockhurst and Emilio Takas. And basically what we do is all three of us host the podcast and we have just back and forth banter, and then we kind of just talk with another guest sometimes. So each of us bring like a different guest to the episode that the other two don't know about, and then they try to guess, and then this helps keep the whole conversation unscripted. It's a really cool podcast. I'm going to link it in the description down below. So if you guys are interested, go check it out. But with podcasts now, we have a whole new layout. It's kind of like the whole App Store treatment that they did several years back where they just revamped how the whole thing worked and looked. Same idea. There's going to be a lot better discoverability with the podcast app now. And they're also bringing podcast subscriptions. So basically my idea of this is they're giving podcasts another way to monetize. So if you want to be able to monetize your podcast and give a little bit extra content, then you're going to be able to do so by behind a paywall. And people who are really interested in your podcast can, pay for that extra content or extra conversations that you put out, or early access, or whatever it is. But that's what I got from the whole podcast subscriptions talk. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, share it with your friends and family who might want to know what's new about the Apple event. And on that note, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, stay blessed, peace. Man, I'm also fasting because of Ramadan, and all this talking has made my throat and my mouth so dry. Oh, I can't wait till sundown. I'm just gonna chug down like a bucket of water. All right, I'm gonna go edit this thing. I'll see you guys soon. Oh wait, technically you would have already seen this.